First Watch with Sheriff Mark Daniels on KWCD Bisbee Sierra Vista, hosted by Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Well, good morning, Carol Kappas and Sheriff Mark Daniels.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone. I'm still getting used to that intro.
It's a new intro, yeah. It's nice.
It is, yeah. It's different.
It says all the things that I used to say, so now we just go, hi, how's everybody doing?
I know, that's what I mean. It's like, hey, that don't seem right. You know?
But we do want to thank SSVEC once again for having us on the air. They did sponsor the show for a whole nother year, so thank you to SSVEC.
Yeah, thanks to Jason and the team over there, and my son Corey that works there, but all of them that do so much for it to keep the power on.
That's right. Well, let's start with a retirement that's happening this week.
Yeah, Jake Karshner. Karshner should be a real familiar name. He's the Karshner Caverns, and Jake and I have worked together for his whole career, 20 years with him, and Jake's part of our ranch advisory team, lives up there in the Benson area, his wife JJ and stuff, but Jake's had a stellar career. He does, and now it's time to move on, do some other things, another chapter in his life. But I just want to give him a shout out today. And Jake's, like I said, he's a good friend, but he's also just a good friend of the sheriff's office and been a good stellar employee. And he's done some great things with the Ranch Advisory, which was a team that I put together 12 years ago. Jake was selected on that, and he just helped me grow that program forward, which has been one of the most successful programs we've had. So, Jake, good luck, you and JJ both, and we wish you well in your new endeavors.
Congratulations. And we also had someone else who retired from the sheriff's office, and unfortunately now he went to, not unfortunately that he went to Douglas PD, but he retired from us, went to Douglas PD.
You can say that. That's all right.
I know. and now he got some medical issues and he passed away. So Carlos Trujillo and all of your family, we're thinking of you, and we're so sorry that this happened, but we're here.
Yeah, Carlos Trujillo. He worked for the sheriff's office. He's worked for Douglas PD. Very iconic in the Douglas area. He rode motors forever down that area. Known for his accident reconstruction. Did a lot of accident recon with him. Just a good old guy. Worked a lot of DUI task force. He was kind of their traffic guy. And you always see Carlos driving around that motorcycle down there. And then, of course, he worked for us, too. And but we got sad news that he wasn't doing well. In fact, they notified me that he wasn't doing well, and wanted to go see him. And then the next morning, he passed away. So God bless you, my friend, and thanks for what you've done, and thanks for the memories you've left us.
And we have some congratulations to send out to some members who graduated from CODA this week.
Yeah, get it back on a high beat here. So, yeah, we had 2 officers graduate, and Kevin Estrada and also Samuel Godlove. And an extra shout-out to Samuel Godlove for being the Distinguished Class Award, which means he's one of the leaders within the class. He stood out, went above and beyond, so congratulations to Samuel Godlove for that, too, but both of them. And for those people listening, we send our detention officers to the Correctional Officer Training Academy. It's an 8-week class up in Tucson. It's stationed up there up off Speedway Road up there. It used to be the old police academy, and then the corrections took it over, 20 years ago, something like that. And so that's where we send them all, and they go up there for 8 weeks. They got to go to the academy within 1 year, all the folks that go to work in our jail. So, but 2 more and get through the ranks in the academy. Now they got their certs, and I wish them well, too.
And we are hiring in the jail, so if you'd like to go and put your hat in that ring, then please do. It's at cochise.az.gov/sheriff.
It is, and we're also hiring for deputies. That's posted right now, too. And so both openings, I tell people, we got a great family here, great team here, a great culture here. I'm just so proud of everybody that works here, the men and women. So, yeah, look online, come join our team.
And we have another congratulations to Board of Supervisor Chairwoman Ann English.
Yeah, the governor was down doing her State of the State or conversation, however you want to look at it. And before she did that, and I thought it was really honorable, she recognized Ann English. When I started in the 80s, Ann was on the Board of Supervisors. And she's still 28. It's really weird. And then she went off for a little bit, and then she came back on, I think in, 97? Something like that, 96. But either way, she's been on the board. She's iconic, too. She's got awarded a recognition in Douglas here several months ago for her government service, and then the governor recognized her there night here. And so thank you, Ann, for your service to this county, and she's been steadfast, and she's been stellar in what she does.
She's an amazing role model, so we appreciate that.
She is, and she's a former educator, superintendent.
That's right.
I have a deputy that had her as a principal superintendent, and he said he was so scared of her. I said, I'm scared of her, and she's an adult, you know.
Well, you mentioned the governor visit. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened this week there.
So the governor, I'll give Melanie and her team over to Chamber a shout out for organizing that and setting that up. A little different format, which is good. Change is good, where the governor and her sat, and she asked some questions to the governor, and I was over at Buena High School, and it was nice to see the governor come down here. I mean, politics aside, personalities aside, everything, she came here, most important. So she knows we're here. She knows our concerns. And right now she hasn't turned her back on Cochise County with me as the sheriff's office. And I told her the other night that I said, listen, we need to get together and talk about some border issues, some funding that we have some requests in up there. So, again, she hasn't turned her back. She's working with us, and that's most important as we keep our community safe down here. And not like the federal government with they can't find the music to dance right now. But either way, it was a nice visit. It was well attended, and so appreciate the governor coming down.
And another shout out for things that are going on. The San Pedro Kiwanis is doing a shoe drive. And so you're going to hear a lot of that. There's some PSAs on this radio station and others talking about they are collecting new or gently used shoes. So we're going to have them have boxes in our substations, and I'm sure that they have other ways that you can drop them off here at Preference Properties in Sierra Vista. And what they do is it's a fundraiser for them, and they get the shoes, they box them up, and then the company that they're working with pays them, to get those, and then they ship them off, and then they have micro-organizations overseas, and then they clean them up, and then they are able to repurpose them. They're able to sell them and get those out there. So it's a win-win on a lot of different fronts. But the really important thing, I think, to remember is the San Pedro Kiwanis give back to the kids in Cochise County. That's their main focus.
They do so much. Just Kids Inc., which is an arm of the San Pedro Kiwanis, the financial arm, actually. And I was there yesterday at their meeting, or this week. They do so much for the kids. It's a great organization. They're a 501c nonprofit, and they give back in so many ways. The Beads of Courage, I know they just changed the name on it, where kids that are going through medical treatment, they get a bead for every treatment. And so every week that group comes together and puts those beads together to recognize those kids. And those kids embrace those beads. That's encouragement. It's inspiration. It's just so neat to see that. I've been with Kiwanis for a long, long time. I'm just so impressed for what they do and be part of that organization.
Last week we were talking about the spelling bee. How did you do? Were you able to spell all the words, Sheriff?
Yeah, I had it in front of me, so I just had to look and say A, B, C. Okay, good. You passed. And it's amazing the words. Jackie Clay in the county superintendent's office puts that program together. And let me just say this: it's so neat to see that. It really, really is. These kids are so brilliant, and they work so hard. There's no different than a wrestling competition, a basketball game. They practice. They got to get mentally prepped for that, and they get up there. There's 19 of them, I believe, total this year, somewhere right in there, just under 20, maybe 20. And that's the day it snowed Saturday. It was just snowing. I mean, we had this what's going on? We're really living in Arizona, but. Going there, I'm thinking, they're going to cancel this. And I got there, and well attended, probably one of the better ones attended, but every kid showed up, too, from all over the county. Nobody stopped. They got there, So they did well. All the kids did well, and some of the kids, like a little guy holds his teddy bear. I mean, he's like a third grader. I mean, that's probably his luck charm. I don't know. But, I mean, from third grade, I think it was the youngest, all the way up to 8th grade. And they all came prepped, ready to go on this. And so it's always good to see the kids get through the first couple of rounds. Because you don't want to go out the first round. And they all did that. So after that, it's all achievement, success after that.
So who were the winners of the spelling bee this year?
So kudos goes to the top three. I'll start with third place. Aurora Cañas out of Palominas School. Kudos to Palominas. Second was Elias Morrison out of Benson School. And the winner this year out of Veritas School was Caitlin Stevens. I mean, so kudos to her. And I talked to one of the girls. She came in top 5 out of Cochise School. And she's always right there. And she had I and E mixed up. And otherwise she would have gone into the top 3, I think, too. And but like I said, just watching the anxiety on these kids as they get up there and try to spell these words. But I just think it's exciting. So if you weren't out there this year and you hear me talking, or if it comes to mind, we'll do it again next year on our show, is come out and watch these kids. It's pretty impressive because we sit there and look at these words, and you got the judge sitting next to Superior Court judge, you got myself, you got a superintendent, and we're all looking like, what's that word? So, and we're all supposed to be educated, but these kids are smart.
And another way giving back to kids in our communities, Cars for Kids is coming.
Cars for Kids, yes, we just had a meeting yesterday on that, and right around the corner, it's April 6th. For Saturday in April, and we're still taking cars. You can go to the Boys and Girls Club, sign up your car, or you can do it the day of. The only problem with the day of is if we do get full, we max it at 300 cars. And so it's a fundraiser that Fraternal Order Police puts on for the Boys and Girls Club. We have 20 auction items. In fact, this year we have a plane ride around Cochise County. So we have a business who owns a plane, and their pilot's going to take it around for a couple hours, just fly around Cochise County, over to Parker Lake, over to Coronado, up and over to Chiricahua. I think that's really cool. So we just got so much going on. We'll have 2,000 to 3,000 people at that show. So come on out, join us. A lot of stuff going on that day. We have a public safety display for the kiddos. I think it's a neat event. This is our 12th annual, and again, money's going back into the community and Boys and Girls Club, Fraternal Order Police, outreach programs, just a win-win. Cops and kids, how do you go wrong?
And the admission to go see the cars is free.
It's free. We never charge. We never charge to come see there. So stop by, bring your kids by. This year we're going to set up. It was brought to our attention by Mark Rodriguez, one of the city councilmen, reached out to myself and asked, hey, what about kids like these 16-year-old kids, 15, that are actually building their own cars? So we're going to set up a little area just for them. I've asked James over at Cochise College Automotive, he runs the director over there, and Alex over at Buena High School, the teachers, say, how about you guys judge these kids this year? And we're going to have their own awards just for those kids. And so we're always looking at ideas like that. If you have ideas, let us know on things like that. But we're going to do that. We're not going to charge the kids to bring their cars in there. And they've worked hard on this, and this is the future. We can get young kids that build cars and understand the value of these old historic vintage cars, muscle cars. I think we've done well. So we're excited about that addition this year.
And local headlines, there was a fire in Bisbee.
Very sad. I mean, it's like every other year. I mean, look at their city hall burnt down. It's ironic is they just had their ribbon cutting to rebuild their city hall. And then a couple of days later, then we had this news where 2 of the historic buildings on downtown burn up, and I mean that's rough to see. I mean that's what makes Bisbee cool, that old downtown area. But sadly, 2 of the buildings burned. I think they're a total loss, from what I understand. Listening to the city manager talk yesterday at our meeting I was in with you, it's just it's too bad. So my heart goes out to the folks there in Bisbee.
And make sure that, going to Bisbee, you understand that that's going to cause some traffic issues for a little bit. Yeah. They're going to not have vehicular traffic at all for I don't know how long. You can have pedestrian traffic probably starting today, but using caution. So you just have to be aware of that. And one other thing is, listening to that whole call, is the number of public safety agencies that came together and worked really seamlessly to get that taken care of, up to and including having the big ladder truck from Douglas come over, because you have that whole dynamic, and they were so good that they were able to contain it to 2 areas instead of having the entire street burned down.
Well, and we had a CCOM meeting yesterday, which is a regional communication meeting, and I brought that up, that CCOM is the backbone of regionalization. It truly is. When you look at whether it's narcotics investigation, border investigations, fire, EMS, these tragic events that happen, that everybody's talking, everybody's sharing the message, everybody's sharing the mission. And that fire a couple nights ago was a prime example of why communications and regionalization in government in a rural county works. And this is another example. Sadly, but sad things bring us together in our business.
And working together with between the Sheriff's Office and Wilcox Department of Public Safety, which is called Wilcox PD, they had a unique one that came across yesterday. So that was bizarreness in and of itself.
Yeah, you got a truck or semi pulls in to the truck stop up there, and he's transporting these high-end, high-money Corvettes, all wrapped up, because you know how when a car, Kias don't get wrapped up, Corvettes get wrapped up. I'm just kidding if you're a Kia owner, and he goes in. This guy, who I understand just got out of prison, correct me if I'm wrong, pops into the semi and steals it. Our deputy spots it. Wilcox PD helps us, and we get this guy stopped. And just got out of prison. I got a real strong feeling he's going right back to prison. I mean, but what a weird situation to have. And it went up North Fort Grant Road going toward Graham County, and our deputy got in front of him and saw him, and then boom, we brought him down. So I'm glad nobody was hurt. I mean, 80,000-pound vehicle going down the road with that kind of $1.2 million worth of Corvettes on it. Wow.
So do you have a stop of the week this week, Sheriff?
Let me think here. You know, it's I always have a stop of the week. That's just who I am and stuff. And but I'm thinking one that stood out this week. It's been busy. I'll just say the last couple of weeks between congressional hearings, visitors. We had a sheriff in town from Florida, which is a lot of the programs we're doing there. And so we're making a lot of stops. I'll be honest with you. I've been backing up the guys more than I've been making a lot of stops because we were having so much going on. This morning I was coming to work at 6 o'clock and I saw our deputies out there off Molson Road, the lights going on. I didn't even get out there. I was coming here, but so I don't have a specific stop of the week. But I'll just say this: you know, we announced this a couple weeks ago. Service to PD, they're doing aggressive driver detail, which means, you know, if you're going through red lights or you're getting complacent on your driving, they'll be looking for you. And I add on to that with my deputies, slow down, folks. Slow down. The laws are not discretionary. Stop signs, the one that says red, or they start turning yellow. This is a big one. That means you start braking, not that you accelerate. And so many people do that. I got 2 seconds to get through that light. That's not what that means. It's truly not what that means. And that's what they're doing. They're going to slow people down, bring some better attention to it. Blame it on us if you want, that we've had other things going on in the county, so we haven't been real vigilant when it comes to a lot of the traffic. But the bottom line is we need to readjust that and get back into the line with that.
So Sheriff Snyder's coming in next to talk about what he saw this week on his visit. But let's talk about Sheriff Snyder for a moment.
So Sheriff Snyder is a 50-year law enforcement professional out of Florida, which is down by Palm Beach. Him and his team was here this week, one of our guests this week, and came out. I know him from National Sheriffs, but he came out, spent some time with us, and got to know our operations. I'm very proud of what the men and women do in our border interdiction, our efforts, our educational efforts. And he even said that. He goes, man, you guys are, for a rural county, he goes, you're so above the fray. You are. And I'm so proud of that. We're not just sitting back talking about it. And I see an editorial in the paper today about people, oh, quit talking. We don't talk. We talk about it after we achieve it. And or what's the effort that we're trying to achieve? Either way, and that's what the sheriff said. He was so impressed with our little office here, and I am too. And that goes back to the quality of people that work here. So, yeah, Sheriff Snyder, I appreciate him coming out. I appreciate his team coming out. And the other thing that we push real hard is the more intel we can share from the border to our interior communities. They're coastal, so they share some issues with us. You know, their big issue, he told me, was cocaine. The cocaine coming into their coastal areas. We all talk about fentanyl and heroin, but they're cocaine. Either way, it's illicit. Either way, it's harming communities and children. So together, we can do some stuff. And I-10s, they connect. We talked about that. I-10s to connect from the east to the west for us down here. And so how can we work better? That's an issue national sheriffs continue to push, and we will.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, Gray. Thank you, Carol. And thank you, everybody. Have a safe weekend. Drive safe.
And we'll hear from Sheriff Snyder next. First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Now back to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office. And our next guests are from Florida. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, Sheriff Snyder, first of all, introduce yourself and your team and tell us where you're from.
Sure. I'm William Snyder. I'm the sheriff of Martin County, which is a border county with Palm Beach County. We're about 2 hours from Mickey Mouse in Orlando. I have with me my captain, Ruben Romero, who is our commander of our patrol section, and then Lieutenant Gavin Warner, who's a narcotics lieutenant.
And we have a program here in Cochise County called Borders to Backyards, and we try to show people around the country what's happening here in Cochise County and how it affects what's happening where they live. So that's why you're here. So what did you expect to see when you came to Cochise County?
What we expected to see was, what we were looking for was, what is the nexus between the border and the crisis at the border and what we're seeing in our own county with narcotics, overdoses, and undocumented immigrants. And we saw it. We saw exactly where they're coming from.
So you kind of got to see a bird's eye view of what's happening here in Cochise County. So what do you see in your county that you think came through here?
Well, we have a large Hispanic population in our county. South Florida, of course, with construction, with growing crops. We see those are fields that are wide open for people that are here illegally and that can work off the books. And we know that that they're coming across the border illegally, and we saw it here firsthand.
And so, Captain Romero, what did you take away from your visit here in Cochise County?
Just very much what the sheriff said. We have a large agricultural community, Hispanic community in Martin County, and I think it opened up the mystery of how some of these people are getting from the border or their native country to Martin County. That's over 13,000 miles away, and we're seeing that the smuggling starts here, but it ends up where we're at. And I think it just gives us an idea of how to see what they're doing and their way of living in a different manner. Maybe we can spot some of the smugglers coming into our county now just based on what we've seen. We got to ride along with several of your CIT agents, and they do a fantastic job at explaining how they spot the smugglers. We had Agent Lamelli and Agent Martinez, who I got to ride with, and they did a great job just kind of showing us how they patrol this area of Cochise County.
And in a few short days, you got to see how big this county is.
This county is absolutely humongous compared to Martin County. It's amazing how you guys are able to patrol what they were telling us is about 80 miles of border town here, and you guys do a great job.
And Lieutenant Warner is here as well. So what were you expecting to see when you came to Cochise County?
Exactly what the sheriff and the captain said. It's it's being able to see the beginning, the starting point of where the immigrants are coming across, and then ending up 1,800 miles, to the east in Martin County. Seeing how they come across and how they end up in Martin County is just, you guys are doing a great job here protecting our border. It's just seeing the end result in Martin County, and especially with the drug side, with the fentanyl, seeing how cheap drugs are here and how expensive they are when they move that 1,800 miles to Martin County. They're saying here a fentanyl pill is $1, a quarter to $1, and we're seeing them at $30 a pill. So seeing that price jump from here to there is extraordinary.
And Sheriff Snyder, when you get back to Florida, how are you going to use this information?
We do our own interdiction. So after riding with your very professional interdiction crew, we picked up some telltale signs of UGAs, as you call them here, and we'll be looking for that. We have I-95 and the Turnpike go right through my county. You can't go into or out of South Florida without going through my county. So when we do our drug interdiction, we'll be looking for UDAs, and if we find them, there'll be a good chance they came right through here in Cochise County.
Well, Sheriff Snyder, we thank you for you and your guys coming to visit Cochise County. We hope you learned a lot.
Thank you, I did. And I would like to say that Sheriff Daniels is 100% a professional, and this community is blessed to have him as sheriff.
Well, thanks for coming and talking to us today.
Now back to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative on KWCD.
I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and Valerie Weller. Thank you so much for being here. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Sure. Hi, I'm Valerie Weller. I am the Public Information Officer for Sierra Vista Unified School District.
And so Sierra Vista Unified School District as a whole are constantly busy doing stuff.
Oh, yes. Our kids are always out there doing stuff.
Well, yeah, and then you have to juggle all those little balls in the air. And you were telling me just a minute ago about how many social media sites you guys have.
Yeah, we have across all of our schools and our programs, we have about 18 social media channels.
So that's a really great way to communicate with all of the kids and the communities that are involved in that.
Yeah, we cover Facebook for the Facebook crowd. We have the Instagram because that really gets the kids. And then we also have Twitter, X.
Right.
So.
Well, thank you so much for communicating with them. And so that's why you're here today. So there's another outreach or two that you've got. And so everybody really needs to know that. So starting with the one at the end of this month on the 28th, it's Buena's Showcase. And tell us a little bit about what that is and what the purpose is for.
Sure. So our Buena Showcase, again, is coming up on that February 28th. And what it is a chance for our students and staff to really show off all of the amazing programs that are at Buena. We have 15 CTE programs. We have fine arts, dual enrollment college courses. We have, obviously, our core content, English, math, social studies, and science. And then we have 20, soon to be 20 athletic programs. And so Buena will be set up through the gym, cafeteria, main hall, the Klein Center for the Performing Arts, outside. And they'll all have tables showing off what the kids do, what students can learn if they choose to take those classes, and even some really cool new features like a new cadaver table that our EMS, nursing students, and sports medicine kids just got.
And so CTE, those are the classes that get you ready for if you want to check out a certain career, right? So what are some examples of your CTE classes?
Yeah, so the CTE, the Career and Technical Education, those are the classes where you want to start really honing down on what you want to do after high school. And we have things from automotive paint and body to automotive technology, again, EMS, there's the sports medicine, nursing, we have stagecraft, engineering, TV productions, marketing and business. And I know I'm going to miss a couple, but you can even graduate with certain certifications. Like if you take the Buena nursing class, you're leaving with your CNA possibly, or not your CNA. Your CNA, your certified
nursing
assistant. Mm-hmm. And so then they can go straight into the workforce or continue on to Cochise College or another community college or university to finish that training.
And so that's looking at everybody who's in or looking at Buena right now. But then coming up on the 7th of March, you have another one, which is K through 8, a Title I family program, the reading program. So tell us what that one's going to be.
Yes. So that one is on Thursday, the 7th. And what that is our Title I night is a program that promotes reading in schools. And this is an annual program that we've always had, and it's a fun chance for students and families to come out. There's 20 games they can play. There's all different kinds of prizes they win. All the kids get a free book. So we've decided to piggyback on that great event and bring in all of our services for our K-8 students. So those new kindergartners may be coming into school next year, or the new students looking for a K-8 school, they can come meet all the principals, learn about all the programs from our special education services to our free and reduced meal program, and just kind of ask questions, learn what we're all about, and have some fun while they're at it.
And one of the things we talked about right before we went on the air was there's going to be a sports component attached to one of these. Tell us about that.
Yes. So the Buena event on the 28th happens to also be our first home track meet, a baseball game, and a softball game. And so all those events we've decided to make free so that the community can come out, support our Colt track, our Colt baseball, and our Colt softball kids, and have a little fun, and then come over at 5:30 into Buena and see the showcase, and have maybe some free food, and win some raffle prizes that have been donated to us by the Education Foundation.
Do all three of those events happen simultaneously, so you can watch baseball or you can watch track, or how do you logistically get that?
Yes, so they're all right there. Loveless Field is right next to the softball field, and then Capola Field, so you can watch a couple innings of baseball, just walk over. It's probably 50 yards to the softball field, watch that, and at that point you can even just turn around and watch the track because it's just right there.
What a great way to interact with the community as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
So remind us the dates of both of these one more time.
Sure. So the Buena Showcase is going to be February 28th, and it's at Buena High School, and it will be from 5:30 to 7 with all of those athletic events starting at 4 o'clock. And then the second event, our Title I Family Night and Enrollment Fair, is on Thursday, March 7th. That is at the Rothery Education Center there on Fry Boulevard by the park, and that's from 4:30 to 6.
And then how do people find more information about these events or about the school?
So both of these events are going to be posted online, and our website is svusd68.org. You can call our Welcome Center, which will happily answer any questions and walk you through the enrollment process. They're at 515-2761, or you can monitor any one of those 18 social media channels.
Well, Valerie Weller, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So reach out, 520-432-9500, or our social media sites. Best way to hit it up is Facebook at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels. They have links there to our Instagram and our X account, and we look forward to talking to all of you.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. Keep up to date. Follow the Cochise County Sheriff's Office on Facebook and tune in next Friday, 7 a.m. for First Watch.